Hey there, welcome back. I'm going to show you something called an area chart. So if I grab sales, okay, and I'm going to plot it over time. Where's order date? I'm going to bring it over here. And I want it to be continuous. So I'm going to do, let's just say, I actually want this to be pretty, not too granular, but let's say monthly, right? I can see it like that. And I want to see this split up by region. So if I grab region, and I bring this into rows, that's one way to look at it. But I kind of want to see them together because having them like this, I can't really compare them. If I put it next to it, again, it's not something I can compare directly. The most I can say is that this one's higher. But as a collective and as individual, how do I actually get a better view? Okay, so one thing I can do is I can bring this into color and it's going to split them like this. The thing is, though, I don't know what each one's contribution is, right, as a whole. I can see I'm kind of overlaid, but it doesn't really give me much. So what I can do is I can click on this, right, and this actually sets the different graphic type I can have. So automatic is, it will choose the best one for you. But when you come to here, you can actually set what you want it to look like. So if I do area, it's actually going to stack them, okay, on top of one another. So if I look at this final result, it's actually telling me South made 22,000. Okay. The next one made 22,927. But if you look at this line up here, it's not 22. It's actually stacked. So when you add them together, you're making 22,927. And then this last one is 78. So I can actually say that our most successful month was August of 2018, right? And who contributed the most? Central. Okay. There's another way I can look at this information. So if I right click sales and I go quick table, I can go percent of total, right? I can right click again, I can go edit, and I can go down. What that does is it uses each vertical point. It's hard to do vertical on this trackpad. I can do a vertical point and uses that as 100%. So whatever sales were made at that moment in time, that's my 100%. And then whatever it splits to in terms of region. So again, I can have a look here. I'm going to change this from month to maybe quarter, just to level it out a bit. But I'm not really seeing much in there. So let's go back to quarter. So again, if you look in this one's pretty interesting. Our total sales, I actually don't know. To actually see the total sales, I can actually bring this one here. Okay. And I can get rid of color on this one. And I can bring label here. Okay, so for this one right here, which is, what is this, May 2016, the total sales is 36,792. But what's interesting is there was a massive spike in the South. I can't really see that using those previous graphics, right? Because it's not putting it into context with the other regions. So the question is, how was it that South made so much? In fact, it may have been four times more than this one and actually dwarfed Central. So what's interesting is what happened during this time. I'm going to show you something to go even deeper into your data, right? This is question 1. Let's see how it's all spread out. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a duplicate sheet by clicking this button. And the reason I do that is I want to keep this one because usually when I tell a story to people, I go, all right, this is our story. We made a massive spike here, and now I want to look into here. Okay, so by having both sheets, I can actually do both. So if I duplicate, you'll see now that I've got a second sheet, so sheet 18. Okay, and all I'm interested in is this point in time here. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this sum of sales, right? And I'm only going to select this spike of data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this table calculation, right? And I mean, look at that. All of a sudden it disappears just because of the perception. Okay, so I'm going to highlight just these points here. And I'm going to go keep only. Right, so now I've only got that point in data. Let's go back to automatic. And I want to see this on a weekly, maybe even a daily. Right, but that's not really giving me too much. So let's go back to weekly. All right, and then I want to see by region also what's going on in terms of maybe the category field. So let's bring that in here. Okay, it's not really showing me too much because it's lined. So let's set this to bar. Let's see what's going on. Let's bring out the regions. what's going on. So technology had a massive spike near the end of the month, right? So let's get rid of this quick table calculation, right? So now I can see the values. I can bring category into colors now. And there was a massive spike mid-month from office supplies and furniture. So again, I can duplicate this and I can go further still. So I can highlight these two, right? And maybe even this one. I can keep only, and now I'm interested in just this information. So again, let's go down deeper. Let's figure out which manufacturers they were. Okay. The reason that warning came up is because there's so many variations of manufacturers. It usually tells you there's going to be a lot to show in color. If you press yes, it may take a lot of time to do it, but it's just a warning. So manufacturer, maybe not so much. Let's check subcategory into color. All right, so there's a decent split there. So let's bring this over to rows. Okay, I'm going to bring this over to sum of sales. And I'm not interested in weeks anymore because I'm already in the time period that I'm interested in. Okay, so now we're here. Let's go highest to lowest. And it looks like there was a massive surge in phones, bookcases, and appliances. Again, you can go even deeper. So let's go duplicate this. Let's only look at, let's say the top, these top three, because it makes up for the most. Let's go keep only. And then, I mean, this can go on forever in terms of how deep you can actually go into your information. So this is a really great example of how to start from really high, which is what we had over here, right? Looking at the top level, anything interesting, big spike here, right? To then going to the next level of what is actually happening at that spike. And then within this data to go further still in terms of what's that made of, and then to go further still. You can't really do this with other software packages. So this is kind of one of the really big benefits of Tableau in that it's so easy to keep digging deeper. And I've actually had some really fruitful conversations when I get together with people to collaborate on work, because suddenly the whole activity of drilling down becomes easy, that people tend to focus more on the questions, effective questioning of, hey, what's going over there, or what's happening in this area, or what happened to that spike, or how come there's a surge here, or why is that value so low? Because we're spending a lot less time actually data processing and cleaning, that we can actually get into actually solving problems. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this. This is like our first deep dive experience. Right? We'll be doing a lot more, so you can kind of see my process of how I do, consultations and how I try and solve a lot of problems. So a little bit long on the video, but I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.